All right, so let's dive into something pretty fascinating today. Um, all this AI and global politics stuff.
Yeah.
I know a lot of you are super curious about how AI could, like, totally reshape international relations and global trade and all that.
Right.
So to get our heads around it, we're turning to Yuval Noah Harari
Of course.
and his book Nexus.
Yeah, great book.
Now, he takes a really interesting approach
Yeah.
by comparing AI to these historical information networks, like religions and empires and even, just plain old bureaucracy.
Yeah, that's really insightful because he's getting at something really fundamental.
Okay.
You see, Harari argues that AI isn't just another tool in the information toolbox.
Okay.
It's actually becoming a member of the network itself.
Hold on a member. I mean, it's algorithms.
Right.
Not exactly, signing peace treaties or anything.
Not in the traditional sense, but think about it.
Okay.
AI can process information and make decisions kind of independently. So that makes it more like an agent, right, than actor on the world stage, rather than, just a hammer or a printing press.
I see.
Yeah.
And it does get kind of creepy when you consider some of the examples he brings up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like that whole Facebook algorithm thing in Myanmar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those algorithms were basically like autonomous editors.
Wow.
And they ended up fueling all that hate speech and violence.
Yeah, right.
The point is, AI doesn't have to be conscious to be dangerous. Just being intelligent, being able to process and manipulate information.
Right.
That's enough to have a real impact on human behavior globally.
Globally.
Yeah.
So if AI is this new member in the club,
Yeah.
what does that mean for the balance of power, like the global balance of power?
Well, Harari suggests something pretty unsettling.
Oh, no.
He says that while the Industrial Revolutions, those tended to create a multipolar world, AI could actually do the opposite.
Oh, wow.
We might see power concentrating in the hands of just a few countries or even corporations.
Okay, so why is that? Is it because they control the best algorithms or something?
It's more about the nature of data itself.
Okay.
Unlike oil or coal, data can be transmitted and processed almost instantly. You see? So that makes it much easier for a single entity to control a vast information empire.
All right, an information empire.
Yeah.
He uses the example of AlexNet, that AI that won that image recognition contest back in 2012.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It seemed like a cool tech achievement at the time.
Yeah. But it was a real watershed moment.
Really?
AlexNet was so much better than anything that had come before.
Wow.
That it basically kicked off a global AI arms race.
So countries are like scrambling to build the most powerful AI?
Exactly.
Why?
And Harari draws a parallel to history.
Uh,
He points out that the countries that failed to, jump on the Industrial Revolution train, they ended up getting dominated by those that did.
Yeah.
So the question is, could the same thing happen with AI?
Whoa. That is food for thought.
Right.
And you mentioned trade earlier.
Yeah.
How does AI fit into that whole global equation?
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Harari argues that AI could fundamentally disrupt traditional economic models and possibly even flip the global balance of power on its head.
Whoa, in what way? You mean like robots taking over jobs?
That's part of it,
Okay.
but it's bigger than that.
Okay.
Think about AI-driven automation.
Yeah.
It could lead to what's called reshoring,
Sure.
manufacturing moving back to developed countries,
Okay.
the ones that are leading in AI development.
I see. So countries that rely on cheap labor for their manufacturing,
Yeah.
they're in trouble.
Potentially.
Oh, wow.
Harari specifically mentions textile industries
Okay.
in places like Pakistan and Bangladesh
Okay.
as being vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real domino effect.
Oh, wow.
If those countries don't adapt and find their own niches in this new AI-powered economy,
Right.
they could face some serious economic hardship.
So we've got potential power shifts, trade disruptions. It sounds like AI could like redraw the whole geopolitical map.
That's exactly what Harari's suggesting.
Wow.
He even introduces this chilling term,
Okay.
the silicon curtain.
Silicon curtain, like
Yeah.
a digital iron curtain.
Precisely, he's talking about the world possibly dividing into blocks
Okay.
based on their AI capabilities.
Okay, now that's scary.
Yeah.
What would that even look like? Like constant cyber warfare, AI-powered espionage.
All of that's possible.
Oh, God.
You could see increased international tensions, new forms of conflict,
Right.
AI arms races spiraling out of control.
Right.
It's a scenario that could really destabilize the entire global order.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah.
So far, this deep dive has been pretty bleak.
Yeah.
Is there anything about AI and global politics that isn't terrifying?
Well, it's not all doom and gloom. Remember, AI itself isn't inherently good or bad.
Right.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
And like any tool, it can be used for different purposes.
So it's more about how we choose to wield this AI tool.
Exactly. And recognizing the potential dangers is the first step towards avoiding them.
Right.
The key is to think strategically, anticipate the challenges, and proactively shape the way AI integrates into the global system.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
If AI is this powerful, this potentially destabilizing force, what can we actually do about it? I mean, can we even control this thing?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Harari argues that we need to move beyond like traditional approaches to international relations.
So we need a new playbook.
Exactly.
What would that even look like?
Well, for starters, we need a much deeper understanding of how AI works.
Okay.
Its potential impacts, its limitations.
Right.
We can't make informed decisions if we're operating in the dark.
So education is key.
Absolutely. And not just for tech experts and policymakers, but for everyone.
Yeah.
AI is going to impact all of our lives.
Right.
So we all need to be informed about its potential benefits and risks.
That makes sense. But education alone won't solve the problem, will it?
No, it won't. We also need to rethink global governance frameworks.
Okay.
The existing institutions were designed for a pre-AI world.
Right.
We need new mechanisms for international cooperation, regulation, and accountability.
When it comes to AI.
Exactly.
So something like a global AI watchdog.
It could take many forms.
Okay.
Maybe a new UN agency focused on AI, or a network of international agreements and treaties, specifically addressing AI development and deployment.
I see.
The key is to have a coordinated global response.
This all sounds incredibly complex.
It is.
But what about the ethical dimension?
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that AI can reflect human biases.
Right.
How do we ensure that AI doesn't end up amplifying those biases on a global scale?
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
We need to be very deliberate about the values that are embedded in AI systems.
Okay.
You see, if we train AI on biased data sets, it's going to learn to be biased.
All right, so we need to be more mindful of the data we feed these AI systems.
Absolutely. We need to ensure that the data sets used to train AI are diverse, representative, and free from harmful biases.
Right.
And we need to develop mechanisms for auditing AI systems.
Okay.
To identify and correct those biases.
Okay. But that's just the technical side of things.
Right.
What about the broader ethical implications of AI in global politics?
That's where things get even more complicated.
Yeah.
We need to have serious conversations about the values we want to prioritize.
Okay.
In an AI-powered world.
Like what kind of values?
Well, for example, do we want AI systems making life or death decisions in warfare?
Oh, wow.
Do we want AI controlling access to essential resources like food and water?
Right.
These are profound ethical questions that we need to grapple with as a global community.
This is a lot to process.
It is.
I mean, we've only scratched the surface here.
Yeah.
But it's clear that AI is not just a technological revolution.
Right.
It's a societal revolution.
Precisely. And it's a revolution that's happening, whether we're ready for it or not.
Right.
The question is, will we be proactive and shape this revolution, or will we let it shape us?
Well said. I think Harari makes a similar point in his book.
Yeah.
He argues that AI is forcing us to confront some really fundamental questions.
Yeah.
About what it means to be human in the 21st century.
Exactly. And those are questions that we can't afford to ignore.
Right.
The stakes are simply too high.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the potential dangers and challenges.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears again.
Okay.
And talk about the potential upsides.
Sure.
Are there any ways in which AI could actually strengthen global cooperation and promote peace?
Absolutely. For one, AI could be used to enhance diplomacy and conflict resolution.
Okay.
Imagine AI systems that can analyze vast amounts of data to identify potential flashpoints.
I see.
And recommend strategies for de-escalation.
Though AI as a peacemaker.
It's possible AI could also be used to facilitate international trade and economic development.
Okay.
Imagine AI systems that can optimize global supply chains.
Okay.
Reduce trade barriers. Promote sustainable economic growth.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
AI could actually help to level the playing field for developing countries.
It's certainly possible, but it all depends on how we choose to develop and deploy this technology.
Right.
If we approach AI with a spirit of cooperation and a commitment to shared values, I believe it can be a powerful force for good in the world.
That's a message of hope I think we all need to hear.
It's a hope that requires action. We need to be engaged, citizens-informed voters, and active participants in shaping the future of AI.
Well said. This has been an incredibly thought-provoking conversation.
I'd agree.
I feel like I have a much deeper understanding of this complex relationship between AI and global politics.
I'm glad to hear that, and I hope our conversation will inspire you to continue exploring these issues.
Absolutely.
And to engage in informed discussions about the future of AI.
I know.
Great.
And I encourage all of our listeners to do the same.
Yes.
The future of AI is not predetermined. It's up to us to shape it.
It's a fascinating paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
AI has the potential to both unite and divide us.
Right, like on a global scale.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the importance of global governance.
Right.
You know, we need to establish clear rules of the road for AI.
Okay, rules
that promote cooperation, prevent harmful uses, and make sure the benefits of AI are shared equitably.
Okay, so let's get practical for a second.
Okay.
What are countries actually doing right now to prepare for this AI-powered future?
Well, many countries are investing heavily in AI research and development.
Okay.
They see AI as a key driver of economic growth and national security.
So it's like the space race of the 20th century.
Exactly. It's like a new kind of arms race.
With algorithms instead of missiles.
Right, and just like with the space race,
Yeah.
there's a lot of competition, but also a growing recognition that some degree of cooperation is necessary.
All right, can you give us some examples of countries that are leading the charge in AI?
Sure. The United States and China are generally considered the front runners.
Okay.
They're both pouring billions into research.
Right.
And they're home to many of the world's leading AI companies.
What about other players? Is it just a two-horse race?
Not at all.
Okay.
Countries like Canada, the UK, France, Germany, Japan, they're all making significant strides in AI development.
I see.
And there are several emerging AI hubs in other parts of the world.
Okay.
Including India, Israel, and Singapore.
So AI is truly a global phenomenon.
It really is.
Which I guess underscores the need for a global response, right?
Precisely. We need to ensure that AI is developed and deployed in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Right, not just a handful of powerful nations.
Exactly.
Okay, so if we're talking about a global response, what are some of the key challenges that need to be addressed at the international level?
Well, as we discussed earlier, AI bias is a major concern. We need to develop international standards and mechanisms for auditing AI systems to ensure fairness and prevent discrimination.
And what about the potential for AI to be used for malicious purposes?
Yeah.
Like cyber warfare or the development of autonomous weapons?
Those are very real dangers.
Right.
We need to establish international norms and treaties that prohibit the development and use of AI for harmful purposes.
Right.
And create mechanisms for holding countries accountable if they violate those agreements.
It sounds like we need a whole new set of rules for the AI age.
In many ways, we do.
Yeah.
The existing international legal frameworks weren't designed to address the unique challenges posed by AI.
So where do we go from here? What are the next steps in developing this global AI governance framework?
Well, there are many different models being proposed.
Okay.
Some experts advocate for a centralized global body, like a new UN agency dedicated to AI.
Okay.
Others favor a more decentralized approach with regional or sectoral agreements.
So there's no easy answer?
No, there isn't. But one thing is clear.
Okay.
We need to start the conversation now.
Right.
We need to bring together governments, industry leaders, researchers, civil society organizations to develop a shared vision for the future of AI.
A vision that prioritizes human well-being and ensures that AI is used for good.
Exactly.
If we can do that, I believe AI has the potential to be one of the most transformative technologies in human history.
I agree.
It could help us solve some of the world's most pressing problems.
Yes.
And create a more just equitable and sustainable future.
It's a future worth striding for.
It is. So for our listener who's been with us on this incredible journey, what's the one key takeaway you want them to walk away with?
That the future of AI is not predetermined.
Okay.
It's up to all of us to shape it.
Right.
We need to be informed, engaged citizens who demand responsible AI development and hold our leaders accountable.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks.
This deep dive has been both eye-opening and empowering. Yeah, me too. We've explored this complex landscape of AI and global politics, uncovering the potential risks and rewards that lie ahead.
Right.
But most importantly, we've learned that we're not just passive bystanders in this technological revolution.
We can make a difference.
We have the power to shape the future of AI and ensure that it serves humanity.
Absolutely.
So to our listener, keep exploring, keep asking questions,
Yes.
and keep demanding a future where AI benefits all.